Most ancient religious texts are approached as static instructions. There is an expectation that a passage carries the exact same meaning and literal application, whether the reader is 15 or 85 years old. The Vedas operate on a different logic. Ancient sages organized this knowledge into 4 separate layers, each designed to function at a different stage of a human life. These divisions ensure the practitioner interacts with a specific type of information that corresponds to their age, biological state, and social role. And the structure follows a consistent trajectory. It begins and, over several decades, systematically funnels the practitioner's attention toward their own internal states. This progressive model accounts for the shifting needs of a person as they age. Rather than enforcing a single set of rules for all, the philosophy evolves alongside the person, making the pursuit of enlightenment a lifelong developmental process. The journey begins with the student phase, or brahmacharya. This is a period defined by rigid discipline, precise rhythm, and the intake of foundational information. At this stage, the focus is on the samhitas, thousands of hymns and mantras mastered through an oral tradition called Shruti Parambara. These red accent marks on the original manuscripts serve as a musical score, dictating the exact cadence and intonation required for memorization. Students act as human data storage systems. They are required to rote memorize the cadence and phonetic structure of thousands of metric verses, often before they are taught the complex philosophical meanings behind them. This repetitive, loud, and externalized phase is a prerequisite. It builds the cognitive focus and memory capacity necessary for the deep internal analysis required later in life. As the individual matures, they enter the householder stage, or grihasta. This marks the transition into society, marriage, and the responsibilities of material life. The corresponding texts here are the Brahmanas. These are prose manuals that provide the instructions for physical actions, social duties, and the complex ritual sacrifices known as yajnas. Rituals here are outward-facing. The goal is maintaining social and cosmic order through physical ceremonies, centered around a literal fire on a brick altar. The Brahmanas serve a specific developmental purpose. They take the peak physical energy and worldly ambition of a young adult and channel it into productive, community-oriented duties. This stage suggests that the external world must be mastered through duty and ritual before an individual can effectively begin the process of looking away from it. Eventually, the body begins to age, and the individual enters the vanaprastha stage, or the retiree. The exhaustion of social life and the demands of physical rituals begin to take a toll. Here, the Aranyakas, or forest texts, serve as a bridge. They instruct the retiree to move the ritual fire from the physical brick altar into a space of pure mental visualization. The external sacrifice is extinguished. The complex actions that once required a community and a physical fire are now performed entirely within the mind. This leads to the final stage, the spiritual seeker, or sannyasa. All worldly ties and previous social identities are renounced, as seen in this image of a solitary man living in total isolation from society. The final text layer is the Upanishads. These works strip away the ceremonies, physical altars, and allegories of the earlier stages to focus on the essential nature of reality. The goal is moksha, or liberation. It is the realization that the individual soul, the Atman, is identical to the universal reality of Brahman. This realization of unity with the cosmos is the result of decades of preparation. The previous 3 stages act as a series of filters, methodically stripping away the ego until this internal state becomes visible. The architecture of the Vedas is a masterclass in patience. It prevents the practitioner from attempting to rush toward enlightenment before they have been properly prepared. In this blueprint, the material world is not something to be shunned or bypassed. It is a mandatory experience that must be lived through and understood. The trajectory is clear, a movement from the loud external noise of chanting and physical fires to the silent internal flame of human consciousness. By forcing us through the complexities of the external world, the Vedas reveal that the vastness of the universe was always contained within the individual.